There's a saying in high finance: the bigger the loan, the smaller the rules. And no one's danced closer to that edge than Donald J. Trump. While the world was watching the headlines, real estate deals, bankrupt casinos, political scandals, a quieter story was unfolding. A story buried deep inside the vaults of Deutsche Bank, one of Europe's most scandal-ridden financial giants. This isn't just about politics, it's about dark money, shady connections, and the power players pulling strings behind closed doors. Welcome to the ledger, the unlikely banker. By the 1990s, Trump was radioactive to Wall Street, for bankruptcies. Billions in bad debt. His name still lit up tabloids, but to major U.S. banks, he was a high-risk gamble they didn't want to touch. Deutsche Bank, a German banking titan with a growing appetite for American expansion, and a soft spot for high-profile clients with deep pockets and big egos, they ignored red flags. They bent rules. Between 1998 and 2015, Deutsche Bank loaned Trump over $2 billion, despite repeated defaults, legal disputes, and scandals. But the real question isn't why they gave him the money, it's who stood to benefit, and what was being laundered in the shadows of those deals. The Russian connection. On the surface, the Trump-Deutsche Bank relationship looked like risk and reward. But beneath the balance sheets, something darker was moving. Starting in the early 2000s, Deutsche Bank became ground zero for suspicious transactions tied to Russia, shell companies, fake trades, offshore accounts. Billions flowed through its systems with almost no oversight. Between 2011 and 2015, investigators uncovered over $10 billion in mirror trades, where rubles would be exchanged for foreign currency in London, then funneled into offshore entities. The paper trail. Practically invisible, and here's where it gets twisted. While Deutsche Bank's Moscow branch was moving shady money, its New York branch was signing off on loans to Trump, two different departments. One institution, no one asking why the risk profile of a bankrupt real estate mogul suddenly didn't matter. Several Deutsche Bank executives raised red flags internally. Some were silenced. Others quit. Then, in 2017, a whistleblower surfaced, claiming the bank had actively covered up suspicious transactions involving Trump and Russian clients. The whistleblower, Val Broeksmit, mysteriously died in Los Angeles before he could testify. Coincidence? Maybe, but in this web of dark money, loose ends have a way of vanishing. Internal turmoil and external investigation. By 2018, the walls were closing in. Deutsche Bank was under investigation in multiple countries: Germany, the US, the UK, all digging into the same question: how did a global bank become a laundromat for dirty money? Inside the bank, pressure was boiling. Executives were resigning. Compliance teams were scrambling. And in the middle of it all, Donald Trump. Congress wanted his bank records. Prosecutors wanted answers, but Deutsche Bank? They stalled, deflected, and fought subpoenas. In 2019, it came out that Trump's personal bankers, like Rosemary Vrablic, had bent internal rules to approve massive loans. No standard background checks. No solid collateral. Just personal loyalty. And political insulation. Even when Trump defaulted, the bank didn't seize assets. Why? Because his name, his brand, had become a weapon, and no one wanted to be the banker who brought down the president. Behind closed doors, one executive allegedly told regulators, "We're too deep in this. If we go down, we don't go down alone." The aftermath, and what we still don't know. As of today, Deutsche Bank has paid over $600 million in fines for its role in money laundering schemes. Its U.S. operations are under a microscope. Its reputation shattered. But Trump? He walked, despite years of investigations. From Manhattan to Capitol Hill, no charges have stuck. Some records were turned over. Most were redacted. Others simply disappeared. Deutsche Bank says it's cleaned house. Trump insists he did nothing wrong, and yet, billions moved, loans vanished, and a global financial institution danced with chaos. To keep one man afloat, in the world of dark money. It's not about what you can prove, it's about what you can hide, and who you can afford to protect. Trump, Deutsche Bank, and the dark money web. That's not a conspiracy, That's business as usual. If you thought the game was about politics, think again. It's about power, leverage, and who writes the rules. We're just here to read between the lines. You've been watching The Ledger. Subscribe for more stories that cut through the noise and follow the money.